quite sure what the problem is, so hopefully it's bearable. And if anybody new is watching along, don't you worry, I will explain to you how to participate. It's very easy, very relaxed, very straightforward. So I'll get to that in just a moment. And prizes for the winners, we're playing for pride. That's how it works. This is hopefully a fun evening of entertainment for you all. We've got 4 rounds as always. We kick off with a music trivia round. We've got a mythology round as a Patreon member has requested. I'll get to your shout outs in a minute. We've got blockbusters coming after that, similar to the TV show, 15 general knowledge questions with a blockbusters theme if you're familiar with the show. And then we've got Our Survey Says, which is essentially a bit like Family Fortunes 2. So let's get to some of the comments then. I want to say hello to Jenny, Team Bath. Welcome along. We've got Sue and the Donuts here. Again, I really hope they're not getting too many interruptions with the feed this evening. Luke and Jane are here as well. Good evening to you. Jason's here as well as Andy as well. So hopefully everyone in your team is all well. Who else have we got here? Millie's here too. Good evening to you. Welcome along. Pinky and the Brain have arrived. Hi, guys. And yes, we've got Andy, Amanda, and maybe Ed as well. Maybe. I hope you're doing well, guys. Jan's watching as well. Team Bath mentioning again the interruptions there occasionally, as well as Pinky and the Brain. And we have Anmol here as well, who's saying hi, new here. How to participate, any prize for winners. Okay, let me get to that in just a moment. Hi to Jan as well. He says, good to see you. Glad I could make it tonight. Good evening. All have a wonderful quiz. Struggling to hear me. Right, that's fine. I can adjust the microphone. How is it now? Does that sound better? I just turn it up a bit more. Oh, just the two of us are here as Bert and Ernie tonight. Excellent. That is better. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, sorry, my microphone wasn't quite pointing in the right direction. Right, so let's get to how the quiz works. Yes, much better. Good. Okay. So the quiz works like this. In a moment, I will flick over to the first round and I'll ask questions from each subject. As we go along, you just need to write down your answers or keep a note of them your side. We don't put answers in the comments here. This is just for fun, okay? So all you need to do is make a note of your own answers to each question. At the end of a quiz round, I can repeat them for you. If you need any questions repeated at the end of the round, just let me know what numbers they were and I'll go back and repeat them. Then I will reveal what the answers are at the end of that round. Once we've done all the repeats, you can mark your own answers and let me know your scores in the comments. Let me know how you got on. We commiserate with those who don't do quite so well, and we celebrate with those who do well, but it is just for fun. During each quiz round, we also have pictures that will be on display too. Yeah, let me just adjust the microphone again. Let me know how that is as well, guys. Again, I'm not entirely sure why the sound would be problematic. So it's as loud as I can put it here. I might be able to make one more adjustment, but let me know in the comments how it is, because we don't normally have problems with the sound like that. Okay, so I'm gonna, in a minute, move over to that first round. I just want you... okay, I'm gonna have to adjust something. Hold on, let me try something else in just a moment. Hold on. I've adjusted the sound again. Hopefully that's okay now. Yeah, now, okay, people are saying now it's better. I don't know why it was so quiet before. Don't know why. I might have to adjust it as we go, but keep commenting and let me know. People are saying it's okay here, yeah. All right. Some of you might just need to adjust your sets as opposed to mine, but I'm as loud as it can go my side without booming too much. So let's move on to the first round, guys, and let's see how you get on, shall we? We haven't got Abby this evening. My daughter normally asks the first question. She's not been well the last couple of days. She's on the mend, but yeah, again, she's picked up another cold going around school. So she can't come and ask the first question to kick off the show, unfortunately. So I will just skip over to round one, our music round. Okay, so the music round will start in just a moment. I will ask you 15 questions from the world of pop music trivia, and we'll see how you go. 1 point for each correct answer, unless otherwise stated. What I'm also going to do now is reveal your first pictures for the evening, and the picture round you're going to have throughout. Again, make a note of these answers. Don't put those in the comments because we are going to reveal the answers at the end. Okay, so these are for bonus points. There we go. All right. So you've got name the bands. Name the bands. Okay. So you've got their very famous singers, but you've also got their backing bands or the groups they were part of on screen as well. So you get 1 point for the famous singer, in this case, in the middle of each trio, and then another point for the backing group they are with. Okay. So that's 2 points for each picture. Again, some of you are saying still no good on the sound. There's not much more I can do because I can see it's all coming through fine here. I don't understand why it would be too quiet for you, I'm afraid. There's really nothing else I can do. It's as loud as it will go. Yeah, I'll keep thinking, but there's not much I can do. So you just have to maybe turn your TV up, maybe. Not much I can say about it now other than that, I'm afraid. We'll see how we go, though. Pop music trivia is round number one, though. 15 questions, 1 point for each correct answer. Let's make a start. Okay, question number one. Which two acts duetted on the hit single called Empire State of Mind? 1 point for each. Which two acts duetted on the hit single called Empire State of Mind? I'm going to see if there's anything else I can do whilst you think about the answers for each question. Maybe, maybe something else I can do. Hold on. Let me just do one more thing. I've just turned the volume down. But hold on. Let's try. Let's try that one. How's that? Is that better? Hopefully that's fixed it. I'm not sure what the problem could be, but if you could let me know, because the volume levels look like they're a bit higher now on my side. I'm going to carry on anyway, but let me know in the comments, okay? Question number two. Which British singer had an album hit with Reality Killed the Video Star? Which British singer had an album hit with Reality Killed the Video Star? Yeah, you're all saying better now. Good. Okay. Maybe I'll be too loud now. Yeah, I think it's just a setting with my microphone. I've switched over now, so it should be okay. So, which British singer had an album hit with Reality Killed the Video Star? Name the British singer for question number two. I've got myself a drink in my Kiss mug today, just in case. Nice warm drink to help me out. Lots of talking again through work today and now obviously this evening. So hopefully that'll keep me going. Question number three now. Question three. Which acts had the best-selling 1960s singles called You Really Got Me, Purple Haze, and Sunshine Superman? Which acts had the best-selling 1960s singles called You Really Got Me, Purple Haze, and Sunshine Superman for 3 points? So 1 point for each correct answer there. You Really Got Me, Purple Haze, and Sunshine Superman. Name the acts that had those 1960s songs. Still not good for Maddie, but you can just about hear me. All right. So I've changed a setting in the microphones, and now I've adjusted the volume a bit higher as well. So we'll see how it goes. Question four now. Question four. What was the title of Lady Gaga's first UK #1 hit single? Let's thank Mark and his Meta team. What are you on about, Jan? Mark and his Meta team. Oh, Zuckerberg and Facebook. Okay, yeah, all right. I'm with you now. Don't worry, I'm with you now. Yeah. I keep forgetting they changed the company name now. Yeah. Of course, the app is still Facebook. They're not changing that anytime soon. But the company has changed, hasn't it? Yeah. Tracy says, hi guys, I'm here, but Andy's doing our scores and stuff as I've started a new exercise class on a Tuesday, so I'm busy sorting my tea. That's all right. I'm glad you could be watching along. Doesn't matter, as long as you're having fun. Question number five now. Question five. Which song by which act charted worldwide when the film The Bodyguard came out? Which song by which act charted worldwide when the film The Bodyguard came out? Yes, the next two rounds were both Patreon requests, so you will get yourselves a shout out for requesting those when we get to them. It really helps me out when you guys do that because sometimes I just think, what on earth should we do at the next quiz? So yeah, suggestions from you are really appreciated. All right, your next question, number six, then. Just like an earlier one where we talked about the 60s, this one's about the 70s. So, which acts had the best selling 1970s singles called Metal Guru, Lay Down Sally, and Dreadlock Holiday? 1 point for each. Which acts had the best selling 1970s singles called Metal Guru, Lay Down Sally, and Dreadlock Holiday? 1 point for each. So 3 points there in total. Another good turnout again this evening, which is really great to see. Apologies for the earlier sound issues, but yeah, it looks like things are better now, so that's good. And I'm really grateful for the attendance this evening. Thank you for watching along and playing along. I did get some apologies from some people as well, so but that's always nice to hear that people are going well and they just can't make it for one evening. It's fine. Maybe they'll catch up. These are always posted after they've finished going live. And more to say on that subject in a moment, actually. All right, number seven now. Question number seven. What was the title of One Direction's debut single? What was the title of One Direction's debut single? For 1 point. Yeah, some of you might know that well, a while back now, I created a YouTube channel as well for Big Quiz Night In. More so, I had it just in case more than anything. I've uploaded the very first like 20 or so episodes I did of this back at the start of the pandemic. And nothing really much happened there, but I thought it was a good place to put them as a backup, really, to Facebook, just in case. Um, question 8. I'll continue the story after question 8. Question 8. Which act made the UK singles chart first, Mud or Queen? Choose one. Which act made the UK singles chart first between Mud and Queen? So yeah, and then I stopped, and we're obviously on episode 87 now, and it would be a massive task to upload all those other ones. So I thought what I'd do is I'd skip ahead and start uploading them on YouTube from now on, or from the first episode on, where I started doing them like this with all the graphics and everything you see here, because that was like a phase 2 kind of relaunch for me when I had all this going. So now, if you wanted to, you could go over to YouTube and watch the quizzes there. Obviously, they won't be live there. But yeah, just another little way of promoting and sharing what we do here. And I think that's a logical thing to do because obviously they look a lot better than they did before when it was just me on camera. Question number 9 is for another 3 points. This time we're talking about the 80s. Which acts had the 1980s hit singles called All Night Long, Jump for My Love, and Here I Go Again? Great song. Which acts had the 1980s hit singles called All Night Long, Jump for My Love, and Here I Go Again? For 3 points. The next thing I did, once I upload that, is I'm going to give a try making use of YouTube Shorts as well, which is basically like TikTok, where on YouTube you upload up to a minute in a short video. So I'm just exporting my TikTok videos and uploading a few of them there. Going to see how that goes as well. Means that anybody that doesn't have or isn't interested in following on TikTok, you might have access to YouTube. You can watch little quizzes there too. Yeah, I had a feeling there might still be interruptions. It does it occasionally on my side as well now. Yeah, because I'm watching the stream as well on my side. Oh boy. All right. I shall continue to research after the show and see what I can do for next time. I haven't changed anything, though. There's nothing that's changed between when the shows were perfectly fine to now, I don't think. Question number, where are we now? Question number 10. By what name is the singer-born Robert Zimmerman better known? By what name is the singer-born Robert Zimmerman better known? Question 11 now. This one's for 3 points again. Which acts had the first UK hit singles with Big Big Girl, Big Spender, and Big River? Which acts had the first UK hit singles with Big Big Girl, Big Spender, and Big River for 3 points? I will do repeats at the end of the round. You know I will for regulars that watch this. You know. So, Big Big Girl, Big Spender, and Big River. Which acts had the first UK hits with songs called that? Loads of points up for grabs with these last few questions. So, plenty more multiple point opportunities here. Question 12. Question 12. Which 3 acts had the best-selling 1990s hit singles called We're Going to Ibiza, Ready or Not, and Creep? Which 3 acts had the best-selling 1990s hit singles with We're Going to Ibiza, Ready or Not, and Creep? 1 point for each. Don't forget to have a think about the picture round as well at the top there. Name the singers and the bands. I just wrote name the bands across the top because they were very famously known as the singer and the band that supported them. Okay, so that's why it says that. But they're 2 points for each if you get it all. Your next question. Right, question number 13. Strike a Pose is the opening line to which original hit single by which act? Strike a Pose is the opening line to which original hit single by which act? There's one other setting I can change. I'm just watching how quick the upload is. So if I adjust that bit rate, it might sort itself out. I really don't want to put it any lower than it currently is, though. But yeah, let's see. Question number 14 now. Question 14. The Jordanaires, the Miami Sound Machine, and the Heartbreakers were whose backing band? Everything all good here, says Ed. Oh, okay. I don't know why it's only bad for a couple of people then. It kind of makes me think that it must be a Facebook thing. But then you'd think it would be bad for everybody, wouldn't you? This particular network thing? I don't know. I'm clearly not qualified enough to answer this question. I will see what I can find out, though. Okay, question 14 again. The Jordanaires, the Miami Sound Machine, and the Heartbreakers were whose backing bands? Thankfully, they're not the same as the pictures at the top. And thankfully, they don't appear in any of the other pictures I've got planned for you either, which would have been awkward. Question 15, and the final question now. Which 3 acts had the best-selling noughties singles called Make You Feel My Love, Hey There Delilah, and Baby Cakes? Which 3 acts had the best-selling noughties singles called Make You Feel My Love, Hey There Delilah, and Baby Cakes? 1 point for each. Mandy says, sound better now. Not perfect, but much better. Good. Okay. Good. Although your badge seems to be Spanish. Oh, Ed, we had a laugh with this last week. So Facebook have launched a whole bunch of new badges for regular people to pages and groups. Unfortunately, for some reason, they've got some bugs in the system, and the badges aren't always showing in English. As it happens, I can't see any of your badges today. I did see them last time, but I can't see them today. Right, Sue and the Donuts have asked for a repeat of question 8. If anybody else would like any questions repeated, do let me know now with the numbers in the comments. Question 8 was, which act made the UK singles chart first? Was it Mud or Queen? Which act made the UK singles chart first? Was it Mud or Queen? That is question number 8 repeated for you. Number 14, Millie's asked for, and Sue and the Donuts have also asked for number 12. Jason's asked for 14 as well. All right, let's do those in order then. So 12 was, which 3 acts had the best-selling 1990s hit singles called We're Going to Ibiza, Ready or Not, and Creep? Oh, okay, 13, 14, and 15. All right, well, that was 12, so I'll just go through all of them at the end. It's fine. So that was question 12. Question 13 again. Strike a pose is the opening line to which original hit single by which act? And yeah, if it was breaking up, that's understandable. Okay, so Strike a Pose is the opening line to which original hit single by which act? That's question 13. Question 14, the Jordanaires, the Miami Sound Machine, and the Heartbreakers were whose backing bands? Again, 1 point for each there. And finally, question 15, which 3 acts had the best-selling noughties singles called Make You Feel My Love, Hey There Delilah, and Baby Cakes? Speaking of badges, I can see one of them. Oh, Andy, you've got your anniversary follower badge. 5 years. 5 years, because the Facebook group, that your page that you're watching this on, existed long before the pandemic. It was only because of the pandemic that I turned the pub quiz into what is also now this online quiz and far beyond that. So, yeah, that's nice to see. Right, so those are the repeats then, guys. Any more for any more? And make sure you've written down... Just seen Gabby's comment. Make sure you've written down what your answers are for the pictures as well, okay? So Gabby says, I had erased Baby Cakes from my memory as a song. Oh, I quite like it. I got no shame admitting that I quite like it as a dance tune. This is pretty fun. There are far more offensive, cheesy, rubbish songs out there in my mind. So I had not erased it and I quite enjoy it. Excuse me. Right, I'm going to go through the answers then, guys. If you need me to repeat those because of breaking up and signal problems, again, just say. So, question number 1 in our music round. Which 2 acts duetted on the hit single called Empire State of Mind? That is Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. 1 point for each. Question 2. Which singer had an album hit with Reality Killed the Video Star? Robbie Williams. Question 3, the 60s songs You Really Got Me, Purple Haze and Sunshine Superman were by The Kinks for 1 point, Jimi Hendrix and Donovan for 2, not Jason Donovan. Question 4, what was the title of Lady Gaga's first UK #1 hit single? Just Dance. Question 5, which song by which act charted worldwide when the film The Bodyguard came out? I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. I asked a question in the pub quiz the other night where it said about who played the title role in The Bodyguard. Several teams put Whitney Houston. And I had to point out that Whitney Houston did not play the bodyguard. She's obviously in the film, but she wasn't the bodyguard. Right, question number 6. Which acts had the best-selling 1970s singles called Metal Guru, Lay Down Sally and Dreadlock Holiday, T-Rex, Eric Clapton, and 10cc? Question 7. One Direction's debut single was What Makes You Beautiful? Question 8. The act that made the UK singles chart first between Mud and Queen was Mud. 1973 compared to 1974. Question 9. The acts that had the 80s hit singles called All Night Long, Jump for My Love, and Here I Go Again are Lionel Richie, The Pointer Sisters, and Whitesnake. Classic rock there. I love that Whitesnake one. Question number 10. By what name is the singer born Robert Zimmerman better known? That's Bob Dylan. Robert Zimmerman, Bob Dylan. Question 11. Which acts had the first UK hit singles With Big Big Girl, Big Spender, and Big River, it is Amelia, Shirley Bassey, and Jimmy Nail. Question 12. Which three acts had the best selling 1990s hit singles called We're Going to Ibiza, Ready or Not, and Creep? That is the Venga Boys, the Fugees, and Radiohead. Oh, Mark's here. He says, Hi, sorry I'm late. That's okay. You're just in time for your quiz round. We're just going through the answers for the first one. So, yeah, don't you worry. Don't you worry. Right, so the answers for the next questions, where do we get to? So Venga Boys, Fugees, and Radiohead were the answers to number 12. Number 13, Strike a Pose is from Vogue by Madonna. Number 14, the Jordanaires, the Miami Sound Machine, and the Heartbreakers are Elvis Presley, Gloria Estefan, and Tom Petty's backing bands. And finally, question 15, the acts that had the best-selling naughty singles called Make You Feel My Love, Hey There Delilah, and Baby Cakes. Make You Feel My Love is by Adele. Hey There Delilah is by the Plain White Tees. And Baby Cakes is by Three of a Kind. Sorry for reminding you of that song, Gabby. Right, your pictures. Picture number 1 on the left there for 2 points. That is Diana Ross and the Supremes. So 1 point for Diana Ross, 1 point for Supremes. And on the right, that is Buddy Holly in the middle with the Crickets for 2 more points. So 2 points there per picture, the singer and the name of their backing band. Tally up your scores, let me know how you got on, and then we will see how you did and move on to round 2, our first Patreon round of the evening. And of course, while that's going on, I'll share a link for you all. So, just a reminder then, in the comments is my Beacons link. That has all the links to everything you can find and use to support what I do here on. Okay? I'm going to go through the scores and I'll tell you the new link that I've added to it recently at the top. Some of you may already be aware of this if you see me post about it, but it bears mentioning. Okay, Donuts have got themselves 29 points. Team Bath have got 28 points. Very close there at the top. 27 for Back in Black, plus 4 for the Pictures. Very well done. Pinky and the Brain have got 23, plus 4 for the Pictures. 14 points for Tree Sparrows. Another good score, well done. 26 plus 4 points for Luke. 12 points for Millie. She says, LOL. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, for those of you who have bigger teams, it's perfectly understandable that you naturally get a higher score. For those not with bigger teams, it's perfectly understandable if you perhaps don't get a high score. It's fine. Again, it's just for fun. Andrew Hill says 22 plus 4 for Bert and Ernie. Excellent stuff. Good work, you two. Plus 1 for the Pictures. Okay, Millie, well done. Okay. Good stuff. Any more scores? Don't be shy. You can put them in the comments. There's no shame here. It is all just for fun, and we're all very supportive here. Here we go. Maddie says G-Force have got 22 points. Excellent score. Good work again. Yeah, so just before I move on to the next round then, the link that is now at the top of my Beacons link, when you click on that and open it up, Mark says 0. Yes, Mark, unfortunately we know, joining late. But I do see his badge, which is nice. So yeah, that's always a positive thing. So the top link is the link to Amazon, where you can buy the children's book that myself and my son Ruben have written and got published. Something we've been working on for months. So if you have anyone in your life that is, I would say, around about 5 years old, it's good to have it read to them, but it's also good for them to start reading. So 5 and up for reading themselves, maybe, and less than that to be read to, or both. Doesn't matter. It's a really fun little book called Jack and the Dragon. I've posted about it on the page already. Many of you will have seen it, but in case you haven't, if you know anybody that might be interested in buying it, it's on Amazon. It's a £5, and we get a very small little percentage of that goes into his savings account. So it's really cool. We're really proud of it, and hopefully we'll be writing more in the future. So that's that. How do you switch off text? It depends on the device you're watching. If you mean if you mean the closed captions, subtitles, you can tap the screen and there should be a button to turn that off. Um, I'm not sure what you mean by text though. It really depends on the device you're watching. I'm going to flick over to round number 2 now, guys. It is the mythology round. So this was a subject requested by Mark, funnily enough, who's having problems with text at the minute, it seems. But as a Patreon, you are entitled to request rounds for me. Top tier Patreons get precedent over lower tier Patreons, but if only lower tier Patreons suggest subjects, then they get their requests in the next show. So thank you, regardless of what level you support. You're watching on Android. Okay, it should be, if you tap the screen, there might be a little CC icon, something that you can tap to get rid of. I'm not sure. Have a look. If you tap the screen, there should be more buttons appear on screen for you to adjust and the settings. I don't know why it's even on, but these things happen. Facebook's funny like that. All right, so the mythology round then. I've decided that this may become more of a thing we do more often because there's a lot of interesting trivia we could include in these kind of rounds. So this mythology round is going to focus on Greek mythology, which I think is probably the more well-known and popular of all the different mythologies it could cover. But then I'm going to do another round in the future, which might be purely Roman mythology, and then maybe something else after that. I don't know. I will take your advice if you have any suggestions, but that's what I thought I'd do because I found a lot of interesting trivia to give you for Greek mythology. And then I thought I'll just keep it as that for this round. So 15 questions again. Also, there's the pictures for this round. So 2 different bands and 2 different singers. Name those bands for 4 points again, because there is a singer's name and then there is the backing band. Again, just like with the last round, 4 more points available here. Okay, so I'm going to go through these questions then. Unlike the last round, there are no multiple point questions here. There are some multiple choice, but every question is worth 1 point and 1 point only. All right, so let's see how you get on. So, question number 1 in our mythology round. In Greek mythology, who flew too close to the sun? Keep your answers to yourself, please, as usual. Don't put them in the comments. In Greek mythology, who flew too close to the sun? Question number 2. How many heads does Cerberus, the guards of the underworld, have? How many heads does Cerberus, the guards of the underworld, have? I'm looking forward to when we get to the Our Survey Says questions again, because I've taken some from the American version of the show. If anybody watched last week, you'll know that I had a laugh with you guys about some of the subjects they cover and how ridiculous it is, how you'd never get away with it on the UK version. So yeah, we'll have some fun with that in a bit. Question 3 now. Question 3. Who was the chief god of the ancient Greeks? Who was the chief god of the ancient Greeks? Question number 4. What did Narcissus fall in love with? What did Narcissus fall in love with? Question number 5. Which Greek hero was the tamer of horses? Which Greek hero was the tamer of horses? This is the first time we've done a full mythology round as well, I think. Just for regulars amongst us. I'm pretty sure it is. When I get requests, I always try and see what we've done before. Searching through my archive of quizzes, and I'd never done a straight up mythology round. So interesting to see how you do with this one. Question number 6. In Greek mythology, and sharing its name with a character from The Matrix who shaped and formed dreams. In Greek mythology, and sharing its name with a character from The Matrix who shaped and formed the dreams. Okay, question number 7 now. Question 7. How many gods lived on Mount Olympus? How many gods lived on Mount Olympus? Oh, there we go. Maddie's trying to help you out there, Mark. Tap the screen and a little thing like a cog or wheel comes up. That is the settings button. Click on that. Hopefully that will help you out. I couldn't remember if it was behind that or if there was already a separate button for it. But yes, well done. Thank you for sharing that. Oh. Okay, question number 8 now. Question 8. Which Greek goddess is considered the queen of the gods? Which Greek goddess is considered the queen of the gods? Question number 9. This is your first multiple choice one. What is Athena's sacred bird? Is it an eagle, a crow, or an owl? What is Athena's sacred bird? Is it an eagle, a crow, or an owl? Choose one. Oh, interestingly, you can hear me perfectly on your Android phone, Maddie says. So could it be, well, what device were you using before, if you don't mind me asking? Maybe it must be a volume problem on that device. I'm just guessing. Question number 10 now. Question number 10. Who was the Greek goddess of the rainbow who shares her name with a flower and part of the human body? Who was the Greek goddess of the rainbow who shares her name with a flower and part of the human body? Another multiple choice question for you now. Your next question, this is question 11. It must be a laptop thing, Maddie says. Yeah. Okay. So question 11 then. How long did the Trojan War last? Was it 5, 10, or 20 years? How long did the Trojan War last? Was it 5, 10, or 20 years? Mark's saying thanks, so hopefully that's resolved that issue for you. I'm sure if you were talking about subtitles on the video, it was hilarious as it tries to predict what I'm saying. But question 11 again, how long did the Trojan War last? Was it 5, 10, or 20 years? Choose one. Okay. Question 12. I'm going to give you multiple choice for this one as well. Feeling generous on this round. Question 12. As well as being the god of the sea, Poseidon is also the god of which animal? Is it dolphins, horses, or lions? As well as being the god of the sea, Poseidon is also the god of which animal? Is it dolphins, horses, or lions? Okay, we've got 3 more questions left of this round. Question 13. What is the name of the Greek goddess of the earth? What is the name of the Greek goddess of the earth? Got one more question that's multiple choice for you. Question 14. In Greek mythology, how many heads did the monster Typhon have? Was it 10, 50, or 100? In Greek mythology, how many heads did the monster Typhon have? 10, 50, or 100? Oh, Maddie's saying I like this round. Oh, well, it makes up for the last time I think you were here when there was a subject that you didn't like. I mean, you know it rotates all the time, so it's bound to happen at some point. But I'm glad you like this round. As I said, I might do a different one on maybe Roman mythology next time if there's a need for it, or some other mythology. I don't know. Let's have a chat about it. Let me know. Right, final question then. Question 15. Who lured sailors with their enchanting music and sweet song? Who lured sailors with their enchanting music and sweet song? That is the end of that round. Let me know if you'd like any questions repeated, as always, in the comments. Just let me know the numbers, and I shall repeat them for you. And we'll see how you got on with this one. And the other thing I will do then, whilst we're waiting to see if you want any repeats, I will share with you the other link I like to share during my quizzes, which is the nominated charity of Big Quiz Night In. That's Secret Santa 365. So if you'd like to know more about those, you can click on the link and see what they do, or look them up on Facebook as well. But with it coming up to Christmas, the work they do across the county where I live, at least, is very important for children, maybe struggling families. They do a lot of work to help them. So yeah, have a look and see if you're feeling charitable at all. Okay, so yeah, let me know if you want any repeated. They're all 1 point questions, so I don't know. Maybe you don't need any repeated for this one, but I will give you a little bit more time to think about it, and I'll waffle on a bit before we move on to the next round. I recently posted another Lima Little quiz, so if anybody fancies listening in to some of the content I create there, if you download the Lima app, it's totally free, and you can listen to audio casts that people put out there into the world. And for me, that's of course quiz content, short, couple of minutes long. Each little quiz I make, 3 questions normally on a random subject, taking requests as well. I recently posted another one yesterday. I didn't share it in the Top Fan group, which I normally do for those of you in the Top Fan Facebook group, because it's pretty niche. The request I got was for Warhammer 40,000. So if you'd like to have a go at it, it is there. That's the most recent one I posted. But just so you know, I'm posting them more often now with the new app that had launched. So yeah, feel free to check that out. Okay, question 7 and 8 have come in for repeat requests from Mark. Okay, so number 7 was, how many gods lived on Mount Olympus? And number 8 was, which Greek goddess is considered the queen of the gods? Okay. No more have come in to be requested, so I'm going to go through the answers now, guys. And let's see how well you did. Let me know your scores in the comments, and I will also tell you the answers for the pictures as well when we get to that point. He says, just looking to remind himself of what the answers actually are. Right, question number 1. In Greek mythology, who flew too close to the sun? It was Icarus. Question 2, how many heads does Cerberus, the guards of the underworld, have? 3 heads. Question 3, who was the chief god of the ancient Greeks? It was Zeus. Question 4, what did Narcissus fall in love with? His reflection. I imagine that's where the word or the phrase narcissism comes from. Narcissus fell in love with his own reflection. Question 5. Which Greek hero was the tamer of horses? That is Hector. Question 6. In Greek mythology, and sharing its name with a character from The Matrix, who shaped and formed dreams? Morpheus. Which totally makes sense why they called him that in the film now, doesn't it? Morpheus, because he wakes Neo up into the real world from his dream state, so to speak. Question 7. I can't believe I never knew that. I love those films. Question 7. How many gods lived on Mount Olympus? There were 12 that lived on Mount Olympus. Question 8. Which Greek goddess is considered the queen of the gods? That is Hera, Hera, Hera. Question number 9. What is Athena's sacred bird? Was it an eagle, a crow, or an owl? It was an owl. Question 10. Who was the Greek goddess of the rainbow, who shares her name with a flower and part of the human body? Iris. Question 11. How long did the Trojan War last? Was it 5, 10, or 20 years? That was 10 years. Question 12. As well as being the god of the sea, Poseidon is also the god of which animal? Was that dolphins, horses, or lions? Poseidon is the god of horses. Question 13. What is the name of the Greek goddess of the earth? That is Gaia. Gaea. That's spelled. Gaia. I mean, I would say Gaia. Question 14. In Greek mythology, how many heads did the monster Typhon have? Was it 10, 50, or 100? If you Google search for images of Typhon, it's pretty terrifying stuff. It has 100 heads. Although surprisingly, a lot of the pictures, I don't think the artist could be bothered to draw 100 heads, and they just drew a lot. But it's still, yeah, gruesome stuff. Enormous, great big monster thing. Looks like a dragon's body with hundreds of like snake, dragony kind of heads coming out of it. Yeah, horrific stuff. Question 15. Who lured sailors with their enchanting music and sweet song? They were called sirens. There we go. That wraps up the mythology round then. Let's see how many points you got then. There's just 1 point for each, so it's 15 points in total. Let's see how well you did. The pictures. Picture on the left is Martha and the Vandellas, or Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. And then the other one is Elvis Costello and the Attractions. So Martha and the Vandellas, you get 2 points there, and Elvis Costello and the Attractions, another 2 points. Let's see how you did, and then we'll move on to round number 3, our Blockbusters round, another Patreon request. Pop those scores in the comments. Right, Jan says 14 points for me. I'm quite good in ancient Greek mythology. Turns out you are. Very well done. Jenny says 14 for Team Bath. Love that round. Ooh, looks like we've got lots of fans of Greek mythology. Interesting. Donuts have got 10 points. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Andrew says that's 11 plus 4 for Bert and Ernie. Excellent score. Well done. 10 plus 4 for Luke and Jane. Good work. I'm seeing another badge as well there for Luke. Did I address this last week? 1 year anniversary follower. Really fun round, Amanda says. Andy says 11 plus 4 equals 15 for Back in Black. 12 plus 3 for Pinky and the Brain. Fun round. Interesting. Okay. Wow. I'm going to bask in this because this is actually one that I made myself. Normally, as you know, I get, well, some of these, like the first round, for example, I get from the pub quizzes that I've done over the years and just update them. And they're written by the boss man that I work for when I host my pub quizzes, which does save me a lot of time considering this is not my full-time job, as I had to reiterate to somebody at the pub the other night when I was hosting the quiz who thought they just thought this was what I did all the time. Unfortunately not. But this one I did actually write myself and do my own research for, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll do it more often. Thank you, guys. Okay, some more scores have come in. 8 for Millie, very well done. Good effort there. G4 17, 13 plus 4 for the pictures. Indeed, fun round, Chris, says Andy. And 10 plus 1 for Mark. Very good. And Mark was the one that requested it as well. So you get a good score there too. Well done. Good. Any more, by all means, put them in the comments. Oh, and I keep forgetting to say, if anybody's watching a repeat of this, if you're not watching live, you can still leave comments. I will address them. I'll be very grateful for them, in fact. So do let me know how you get on as well if you're watching a repeat of this. And if you're watching on YouTube, because I will be posting this on YouTube, again, leave a comment. I'm not used to saying things like that, but please do. And consider subscribing, is what they say as well, I think, these days. I don't know. We have a laugh. Right, so let's move on then to the exciting Blockbusters round. Another request. So, Blockbusters then, I'll bring in the pictures. Your third and final picture round is name this band, and because I think that's pretty easy for most of you, name their biggest UK chart hit as well. All right? So, the entire band, which as many of you I'm sure have already figured out, is the singer plus the band that supports him, just like all the others I've done. But also name the UK chart hit. So that's for 2 points still. One for the band, one for the hit that was highest in the UK charts. And as that's going on, as you're thinking about that, we will go through the questions for the Blockbusters round. So all of these are going to be similar to the show Blockbusters. So I'll ask you, I will give you the initials of the answer and then ask you a question about it. You have to work out what those initials stand for. So again, these are all for 1 point each. So 15 questions, and this was a request from Sue at the Donuts team. So thank you very much for that. Another good request. We haven't done Blockbusters in ages. I sometimes do this on the Patreon quiz, but it's a full-on Blockbusters board as opposed to just asking you the questions from it. But yeah, this is a bit different, isn't it? So here we go then with that round. Good luck to you all. Let's see how you go. Question 1. Which BS looks like a tiny cabbage? I will spell some of these phonetically in case you didn't quite hear me when I say it. All right. So which BS, that is Bravo Sierra, looks like a tiny cabbage for 1 point? So regardless of how many words in the answer, it's still just going to be 1 point for each, okay? Which BS looks like a tiny cabbage? Question number 12. Question number 12. Question number 2. Which MOM would you take for indigestion? Mike, Oscar, Mike, to spell it phonetically. Which MOM would you take for indigestion? Okay, question number 3. This FM was dropped during World War II along with Little Boy. This FM was dropped during World War II along with Little Boy. That's Foxtrot Mike, FM, again to spell phonetically. Was dropped during World War II along with Little Boy. Question number 4. Which PAP, Papa Alpha Papa, were 2 little dicky birds sitting on a wall? Which PAP were 2 little dicky birds sitting on a wall? Okay. Next question. Which SE is the lowest you could roll in the game of craps? Which SE, that's Sierra Echo, is the lowest you could roll in the game of craps? Okay, question number 6. Which BB Bravo, bravo. Which BB is Ram Jam's only UK hit single? Which BB is Ram Jam's only UK hit single? Question number 7 now. Question 7. Which JD was the villain in Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Which JD was the villain in Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Okay, question number 8 now. Question 8. Which SAT are the twins in The Simpsons? So that's Sierra Alpha Tango. SAT. Which SAT are the twins in The Simpsons? Oh, the chat roll just went a bit mental there, didn't it? Random. Just updated itself and then flickered all the way through. How strange. All right, let's carry on. Just see Zippy Desi Smith in the comments. How you doing, mate? The big quiz night in is the best quiz there is. Excellent comment. Excellent. I appreciate that very much. Thanks for stopping by, mate. Hope you're doing well. Okay, your next question is question number 9. Which YT is a Google-owned website for sharing video content? Which YT is a Google-owned website for sharing video content? I don't know how often you watch along, mate, but we don't put answers in the comments here, just so you know. Question number 10 now. Question 10. Which MC, that is Mike Charlie, which MC is a block-based sandbox game and one of the most popular in the world? Which MC is a block-based sandbox game, a video game, and one of the most popular in the world? I'll give you a tiny bit of a clue there and say technically it's a one-word answer, but you could argue it's split into 2 words and they're just stuck them together. So yeah, MC, but technically it's 1 word. Which MC is a block-based sandbox game and one of the most popular in the world? Question 11 now. Question 11. Which EM is the CEO of SpaceX? Which EM is the CEO of SpaceX? SpaceX. Get my words right. Yes, EM. Echo Mike. Phonetically. Which EM is the CEO of SpaceX? Okay, 4 more questions to go in this round then. And then we'll be on to the Our Survey Says round. Question number 12 then. Question number 12. According to the phrase, you could describe something as wetter than which OP? According to the phrase, you could describe something as wetter than which OP? Oscar Papa, by the way. Phonetically. OP. Wetter than a what? Question 13. Which DG is a French former professional footballer and is also on the current series of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Which DG is a former French professional footballer and is on the current series of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Not that I watch it. But he is on it. Okay, then 2 more questions to go. Which P for Papa, P is the stage name of an American singer-songwriter whose name I just realised I didn't put in my notes, which is really helpful. Let me just go back. I should know this off by heart because it's come up in the quiz so many. Okay, here we go. Which P is the stage name of the American singer-songwriter Alicia Beth Moore? Copy and paste fail. Right there for you. Which P is the stage name of an American singer-songwriter called Alicia Beth Moore? Okay. Next question then. Next question. Question number 15, and this is the final question in this round. Which AOC was the 4th wife of Henry VIII? Which AOC was the 4th wife of Henry VIII? That is your final question in the Blockbusters round. Make sure you've written down your answer for the picture as well. Name the band and their biggest UK chart hit. And let me know in the comments if you'd like any of those questions repeated. Okay, question 14, I'll say again. Which P is the stage name of the American singer-songwriter Alicia Beth Moore? That is question 14 again for Amanda. Which P is the stage name of an American singer-songwriter known as Alicia Beth Moore? That's her real name. What is the stage name that begins with P? The donuts have asked for numbers 3 and 5 again. Okay, so question number 3. This FM, so that's Foxtrot Mike FM, was dropped during World War II along with Little Boy. And number 5, which SE, Sierra Echo SE, is the lowest you could roll in the game of craps? Amanda says, we still don't know it, but it gets us a bit more time to think. I've said this before. If you want me to repeat questions just to give you more thinking time, it's no problem at all. Because yeah, I don't know if I've gone through it too quickly or not. Because only you can tell me that. So that's fine. And it saves having dead air, meaning just me being quiet and not saying anything on camera, which isn't fun for anybody. So, any more repeats, let me know. If not, we shall go through the answers for this round and then we'll move on to our survey says, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a laugh with some of these. I am enjoying digging through the archives of the American Family Feud questions and seeing what appropriate ones I could find for the show because they are so much funnier than our ones sometimes. Okay, I'm going to go through the answers. Your thinking time is all but up. Here we go. Question number 1. Which BS looks like a tiny cabbage? It is the Brussels sprout. Question 2. Which MOM would you take for indigestion? Indigestion? Why do I keep saying indigestion? It is milk of magnesia. Question 3. The FM that was dropped during World War II along with Little Boy. It is Fat Man. Little Boy and Fat Man were names of nuclear bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II. Yeah. Question number 4. Which PAP were 2 little dicky birds sitting on a wall? One named Peter, one named Paul. Peter and Paul. Question 5. Which SE is the lowest you could roll in the game of craps? You're going to kick yourself if you haven't got this one already. Snake Eyes. Because if you roll double 1 with those 2 dice, it's called Snake Eyes. That's where it comes from. Well, that's where at least it's popularised. Question 6. Which BB is Ram Jam's only UK hit single? Brilliant, brilliant song. It is Black Betty, it's called. Great rock song. I love it. Question 7. Which JD was the villain in Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Famously played by Christopher Lloyd. It is Judge Doom. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the film. He's not really known as the villain, I don't think, to begin with. But it's brilliant. Question number 8. Which SAT are the twins in The Simpsons? They are Sherry and Terry. SAT, Sherry and Terry. Question 9. Which YT is a Google-owned website for sharing video content? YouTube. It is 1 point per question. Yes. Yep. 1 point per question. Yeah, the YT that's Google-owned website for video content is YouTube. Make sure you follow Big Quiz Night in on there. Question 10. Which MC is a block-based sandbox game and one of the most popular in the world? Minecraft. It's technically all one word, I know, but Minecraft is the answer. Yes, myself and kids, we all love it. Question 11. Which EM is the CEO of SpaceX? That is Elon Musk. Question 12. According to the phrase, you could describe something as being wetter than a otter's pocket. If you've never heard that phrase before, wetter than an otter's pocket, it's because otters have a little fold of skin underneath or in the flaps of skin and folds of skin in their armpits where they keep their favourite rocks. And they can keep it dry or keep it in there while still being able to use their hands. It's very clever, very cute. But yeah, wetter than an otter's pocket is the phrase. So otter's pocket. There we go. Question 13. Which DG is a French former professional footballer? That's a different thing. And is on the current series of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It is David Ginola. Yes. Being a Spurs fan, I can tell you he was also my favourite player growing up. Very much a big fan of his when he played for Spurs, at least. Question 14. Which P is the stage name of the American singer-songwriter Alicia Beth Moore? That is Pink. Pink's real name, Alicia Beth Moore. And finally, question 15. Which AOC was the fourth wife of Henry VIII? That was Anne of Cleves. Yes, Jason, he was a great player. Yeah. Absolutely awesome. Got to see him live play for Spurs a few times, actually. Yeah. Happy days. Right, okay, so that was the last question there. Anne of Cleves for question 15. The pictures. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you would have got this one pretty quickly. But don't worry if you didn't. No pressure. So, it is Huey Lewis and the News. That's the band. The UK chart hit that gave them the biggest success was The Power of Love, the most well-known song from the Back to the Future soundtrack, famously. It only got to number 9, though. I say only, it's still a great achievement, but I would have thought it did better. If I was old enough to buy music in that time, I would have bought a lot of copies to help it get to number 1. Because I love it. But there you go. Huey Lewis and the News for 1 point, and The Power of Love, or just Power of Love, for a second point for the pictures. So 15 points for the Blockbusters round, plus 2 for the pictures. Let's see how well you did. 13 plus 2 for Bert and Ernie. Not bad. No, not bad at all. Donut scored 12, didn't get the picture. No. Your punishment is to go and watch the Back to the Future trilogy as soon as you can, because you should. Then you will be more familiar with their music because they did more than one song for the films. Right. Jan says 8 points for me. Geez, I haven't guessed any pictures tonight. Oh no, but they're all good bands. This is all good music. I'm sure you know some of their songs though. G-Force 10 plus 2, 14 for Team Bath. Luke and Jane 8 plus 2. Millie thinks she got 5. You also need to go watch Back to the Future as punishment. It's not really punishment. They're brilliant films. Keep your scores coming in. We're going to go on to the Our Survey Says round. We'll quickly rattle through those and have some fun, I think. I think that's about it. Okay, Andy says a fantastic 15 plus 2 for Back in Black. We have peaked. Wow, maximum score. Excellent. Well done. I don't think anybody else... No, nobody else managed to do that, so it's good. And Gabby says 13 plus 0 for the picture for Pink in the Brain. I like Back to the Future, I promise. I said it doesn't matter if you don't get it wrong, if you don't get it right. But actually, some of you, I'm pretty disappointed. I'm kidding, it's fine. Jan says, I know the songs and I know some of the artists. When you mentioned them, just didn't know how they look. Yeah, that's it. Well, the thing is, I thought maybe some of you might get confused when Martha and the Vandellas was there, because you could easily confuse that if you didn't know what they look like with like Dan Ross and the Supremes or many of the other infinite girl groups that were around at the time, and singers like that. But yeah, that's what they looked like at the time anyway. Buddy Holly was the one that surprised me. Maybe it's because I've only ever seen people playing Buddy Holly, and I don't think I spent much time actually looking into him in reality. So I do like a lot of Buddy Holly's music, actually. Yeah, but there we go. Right, let's move on. I've waffled on a lot tonight. I know, I'm sorry. Anyway, survey says, right, we've got 5 answers here for this survey question. When I reveal the question to you, every team gets 1 guess, and 1 guess only to begin with, to see how many of you get the top answer. I will reveal the answers then as we go, and we'll see how you get on until we complete the board. And then we'll move on to the next question. As with before, the third question will probably get the most laughs. So let's see how it goes. Question number 1. Name an accent that is considered attractive. Jump in the comments now, let me know. Name an accent that is considered attractive. What do you think the top answer is for this question? 1 guess for now, and then we will see how you get on, and then you can all guess to finish off the list. Irish, Italian, French. 3 different guesses immediately. I wasn't expecting that. Irish, Italian, French, Irish, French. Okay. Let's go through them then based on what we've got here. So if you said, let me just check my list before I reveal everything answer-wise to you. Irish, 4th most popular answer. 4th answer. For those who said French, 2nd. That is the 2nd most popular answer there. A lot of you said French. Let's see what other ones we've got. We have got Italian. Okay. Jason just says frish. I don't know what you mean by that one. I don't know what frish is, mate. Is that a combination of French and Irish? I think you made a new word there. I like it. Frish. Okay, no, Italian, though. Italian's got to be there, hasn't it? And it is the top answer. Well done. Italian's the top answer. So throw some more guesses in. Let's see if you can work out what the other answers are. What could the other ones be? Oh, Jason said that's French-Irish. Okay, fair enough. I thought so. Frish. Brilliant. I like that one. Rastafarian is not there, I'm afraid, Andy. Rastafarian's not there. Scottish, Andy says. We've also got Scottish. Let's see if Scottish is there on the list. It's the 5th one. Brilliant. Right, let's see what we've got next. Oh, Sue and the Donuts have gone with that as well. Jan, you've gone with British. That is going to be incorrect. British covers so many different accents, mate. So many different accents. Gabby says Chris is from Essex, so as his girlfriend, I have to say Essex. Well, as the quizmaster, I have to say, I think you knew that was coming, though, didn't you? Let's be honest. He ducks. Oh dear, I love a bit of banter on the show. Thank you for that. Okay, right. English in general, no, the English accent, no, it's not there. It's not there. There is one more European accent though that nobody said. Oh, hang on. Somebody has said it. Somebody has said it. Spanish. The donuts have got it. Jan, I'm so sorry. It is not Polish. Polish was not there. Maybe it was lower down on the list, but not quite in the top five. But no, it was Spanish. That's the answer. That completes the board. Well done on that one. We all managed to get them all this time. I think there was one question last week where you didn't manage to get all the answers. So let's see if you can get a clean sweep this time. I'll reset the board and we'll move on to question number 2. We're looking for the top 5 answers again for this one. And your question for question 2 is name something you'd hate to discover not working in the morning. So during your morning routine, you get up, name something you would hate to see not working. Something that will be broken in the morning. What would you hate to see? Maddie's jumped in with Australian there for the last question. Again, I think that would be just outside the top 5 because I would say that's a nice accent, but yeah, not there, I'm afraid, not in our list. In terms of this one, though, we've got alarm clock, shower, alarm clock again, kettle, and a kettle for the immediate guesses that I see there. Everybody gets to have one guess to begin with. So I'll just give you another little bit more thinking time, see if anybody else wants to have a go for this particular one. Heating, Jason says the heating. Oh, it's nothing worse waking up in the morning and then realising how cold it is. But is it one of the top 5? Let's find out in a moment. Alarm clock again from Gabby. Right, so let's have a look at these answers we've got here. Let's go with alarm clock. I will reveal that one to you first. Alarm clock, where's that in our top 5, if it is there at all? Oh, it's the 5th answer. People who were surveyed clearly have their priorities in order. Doesn't matter if you don't wake up in time. No, it's the 5th most popular answer. Kettle says Team Bath and Luke and Jane. Let's see if Kettle is there. It is there. Kettle's there. It's the 2nd most popular answer. Sue said my legs. Yeah, that would not be good. Okay, we've got shower as another guess then. Let's see. Is shower there? Shower is the top answer. Well done there. Andrew's posted that answer there in the chat. Jason said heating. Heating is not there. We know alarm clock, kettle, and shower are there. What else have we got here? We've got any other different guesses coming in? Let's have a look. TV. Mandy says TV. That would suck. But it's also not there. Gabby's gone with car. Let's see. Is car on the list? It is the 3rd answer. You've got one more left to find. Jan says, when I lived in Swindon, I didn't have heating for the first 2 weeks, and you remember how that winter was. Yes, mate, I do. Yeah, I don't know how you got by. Your partner, Andy says, something you'd hate to discover is not working in the morning. Your partner, our survey said. It's not there. Brilliant. Car, water. I think because we've got car, we'll count that as car, to be honest, mate. Car is just one answer in any part of it. So Gabby's managed to get that one first. Toaster. Maddie says toaster. Is that one of the answers? No. All right, I'll give you a clue on this one then. Coffee maker's not there either. I'm not going to press the buzzer because kettle's there for us. But in the American version of the show, it was coffee maker. So, yeah, you're technically right if you were watching Family Feud, but this is the British version of the question. So it's kettle. Toilet. No, not there. Right, your clue is you would probably need it after the shower, is the clue. What could you need after a shower that could then be broken and be a bit of a disaster, therefore, if it was after you've had a shower? Let's see if you get it from that clue. I'd love it if you managed to get all the answers today. Last few seconds. Hairdryer. There we go. Yes, several of you put in hairdryer then. A few years ago, I would have made a joke about the fact I wouldn't know what that's like. But these days, I kind of need one. So yes, I could relate to that very much. right. So let's reset the board again. And we'll move on to our final question of the evening. Jan says, don't have hair, so I could not guess that. Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, that's how I used to be. All right, here we go. The last question of the evening. This is going to be a fun one. The question is, fill in the blank. Since I got married, I have more. Fill in the blank. Since I got married, I have more what? Remember, it's a family show. So just be careful with how you word things. Lord knows on the American version of the show, they are not careful with how they word things at all. All right, let's see. Some of these guesses are coming in. Hassle, stress, grey hair, laundry, patience. Brilliant. Okay. Right, so I'm going to put this answer straight up on the board that I saw come in there. Stress. Stress is there. There we go. That's number 4 on the list. Let's see some of the other ones that have come in. Laundry. Is laundry there? No. We are also looking for the top 6 answers this time. Grey hairs, is that there? No for grey hairs as well. Let's go back up to the top of the list and see. Hassle has come in. No. I think hassle and stress, mind you could argue they're pretty much similar. You probably get the points for that, in fairness. Right, laundry, no. Grey hairs, no. Patience. Is patience there? Oh, what's going on there? Patience, no. Patience is not there. Debt. Interestingly, you went with debt. Millie went with money. I think she means money underneath. Yeah. So debt or money. Let's find out which of the 2 is there, because only one of them is. The answer is money. Top answer. You have more money when you're married, I guess. Maybe because you're more combined finances. I don't know. But money's the top answer. Nevertheless. Problems. Is problems there? Guess maybe we could count that as stress, to be honest, because stress can lead to that. But technically, no. Tolerance, no. Early nights, no. Girlfriends, no. I didn't think you guys would struggle too much with this one. But there are, in fact, I'm sure I did see one of them come up. Yes. Okay, kids is on the list. It's number 3. Kids is there. You've got, 3 more to work out. Jan says, my favourite question from Family Feud. Name something a burglar would not like to see when he breaks into your house. And the immediate response was, naked grandma. Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that one. Medication. You have more medication. That's not there either. No. All right. I'm going to call it. I think I'm going to give you a clue for one of the answers. None of you seem to have gone with the relationship side of things, the positive, happy relationship side of things that you could get from being married. I don't mean being too rude about it. I just mean in general. Ed has gone with fun, though, completely out of the blue there. He's coming with fun. Let's see if fun's on the list. That is number 6. Well done. Mascara. Time. Is time there? No. Love. A lot of you gone with love. All right, I'm going to give it you. I'll give you that one. Yeah, it's romance, but yeah, love. That's that one. And number 5, the final one, which some of you came close to, but not close enough for me to award you any points here. No, not peace, not clutter, although you're probably right there, Amanda. You are right there. Number 5 is bills. So I know, Ed, you mentioned debt. I couldn't really give you the point for it. As close as it is, bills in particular was that missing answer. So you didn't quite get a clean sweep there, guys, but you got all the others, and hopefully you enjoyed that, because that brings us to the end of another quiz night. And we're finishing a few minutes early tonight, which makes sense because we didn't have Abby asking her question this time round. Next week is the Patreon quiz. There's always time if you want to join the Patreon quiz and you're not a Patreon member yet. It's just £2 minimum entry fee. The higher you join, the more rewards you get in return. There are other tiers there, but £2 is the minimum one. Yeah, number 2 is romance. I know, right? Um, Maybe a lot of people were answering the survey while their significant other was stood next to them. So yeah, if you'd like to join in, we're going to do a board game I've created, all online, and it's all going to be about travel and geography trivia. It's going to be a lot of fun. Patreons have already seen it, but you can join up if you want to. And then we've got lots planned. I've got lots planned for the Christmas season as well. So with Patreon and just yeah, lots of fun. So do consider supporting me that way. And I look forward to seeing all the patrons next week. For everybody else, I'll be back in 2 weeks' time with another Facebook Live quiz. So please do give it a like before you go. All that helps out. Really appreciate all your engagements, all your comments. And thankfully, we weren't too interrupted by any streaming issues. And hopefully, things are even better for you in a couple of weeks when we're back here on Facebook again. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Really appreciate your support. Give us a follow in all the usual places if you haven't done so already. And I will also be posting soon about when the next merch store sale is, which I've been reminded about. So I will let you know about that, whoever's interested in supporting me that way. So, with that said, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all same time next time for more of the same fun. Cheers. Good night.